Welcome back to Williams Arena at the University of Minnesota for continuing coverage of the State High School Boys Basketball Tournament. We are queuing up for the Class 3A Championship game between the number 1 seed, number 1 rated, and number 1 QRF team, the Eagles of Totino-Grace. A record of 27-2 on the season, riding a 22-game winning streak, and the Islanders of Minneapolis, DeLaSalle, number 2 ranked, number 2 seed, number 2 QRF. You can't get it statistically any better than the top 2 teams in Minnesota, and DeLaSalle a record of 28-3 on the season. For the Islanders, starters are a 6'2 sophomore guard, number 1, Taj Whitlock, a 6'3 senior forward, number 2, Evan Miller, a 6'8 sophomore, number 3, Ichima Idoku, number 10, a 6'2 junior guard, Jaden Udine, and number 12, a 6'2 junior guard, Deion Wallace-Johnson. For Totino-Grace, the starters include a 6'5 senior, number 0, Dothan Ajatambola, a 6'4 senior guard, number 1, Tion Chapman, a 5'11 junior guard, number 4, Malachi Hill, a 6'4 senior guard, number 14, D'Angelo Dungy, and a 6'5 sophomore forward, number 24, Daniel Zoa. The DeLaSalle Islanders are coached by Todd Anderson in his 4th season, going for career victory number 100 here in this state championship game. And Totino-Grace is coached by Nick Carroll in his 9th season. The 100th win came a long time ago. He's much closer to 200 career wins than 100, coming into this afternoon's game with 185 career victories. DeLaSalle, the Islanders, they are dressed in white with the gold numbers, black trim. They'll be going from right to left in front of me. And the Eagles of Totino-Grace will be flying left to right in the dark blue with white numbers and white lettering. The fans are ready. The players are ready. 1 down, 3 to go in state championship games. Coverage on the Mighty 920 KDHL, a service of Goodhue County ADA. J-Mo's Bowl Faribault, where you always strike a great meal. H&R Block, Faribault, Lakeville, Owatonna. Taji Jewelry Kenyon, you don't want just any diamond, you want a Taji Jewelry diamond. And Ackerman Accounting and Tax Service of Owatonna. Totino-Grace won the tap, and that's enough for their fans to start up the "This One's Over" chant, which more and more teams are doing after the opening tap. They're having fun. Lose the ball. DeLaSalle with the basketball on their first possession. Just underway. State championship Class 3A basketball. Single A, 3A, double A, 4A is the order. Here's a hard drive up the lane. Finger roll didn't go on Wallace-Johnson's attempt. Rebounded by the Eagles. Totino-Grace hurries the other way. Chapman gets the ball into the front court. Pass corner. 3 on its way. Off the rim. Rebounded by Jaden Udine. A junior guard. Long outlet ahead to Miller. Miller gets underneath the hoop. And he is just surrounded by Eagles playing right in front of me. The ball is tapped. And and Wallace-Johnson and I just made good acquaintances with one another as he came racing over to Media Row to save the ball. Meanwhile, fouled on the play was Wallace-Johnson. And that foul is against Tion Chapman. His first inbound play for the Islanders. Wallace-Johnson will put it into play. That one will be deflected out as he was starting to trigger the inbound by Malachi Hill. DeLaSalle 28-3 on the season. Totino-Grace 27-2 on the season. 22-game winning streak. They lost a couple of games early to 4A teams. They played a really, really tough schedule early. They both played a tough schedule overall. 3-pointer on its way. Bottom of the net good. Wallace-Johnson on the 3. And on the Taji Jewelry of Kenyon scoreboard, the first points belong to DeLaSalle. 3-0 lead. We are just over a minute gone by in the first half. Dungy bounces it into the corner to Ajatambola. Ajatambola, member of the team since freshman year, starting sophomore year. His buddy Chapman has the ball in the corner. Same story. They've played together since very young. Fade away in the lane after a nifty behind-the-back dribble. Ajatambola missed it, but I think he was fouled, right? No foul, just a ball out of bounds. They grew up playing in the Brooklyn Park Youth Basketball Program. Did Chapman and Ajadambola. And were both members of a state championship team as freshmen. Won championships as freshmen and sophomores. Juniors, they were runner-up. So as freshmen and sophomores, here's a three that rains in from Idoko. And DeLaSalle grabs the quick 6-0 lead. 2 minutes into the first half. H&R Block, Owatonna Faribault Lakeville presents our stats of the game. Here's a straight-on look for Ajadambola. He'll drive into traffic, lean, shoot, and I think it is an offensive foul on Ajadambola, I believe. There it is. It's a player control foul. Dothan Ajadambola, who has committed to Drake and is a top 10 Mr. Basketball finalist. Didn't make the top 5 list, but hey, top 10 player in the state. Pretty impressive. And as I said, part of a freshman team that won a title. Sophomore team title. Junior team lost out in the semifinals to Alexandria last season. A shot misses on a little hook shot by Evan Miller. Going the other way with it is Dungy. Dungy up the lane, kicks it out. Chapman straight on look. Tion Chapman, who had 10 points in the win over Minneapolis South and 12 points in the win over Northfield. It is now a 6-3 game. Both these teams can go very deep on the bench. There's a steal. Transition the other way. 3-on-1. And it is missed. Putback basket is good for Tion Chapman. Totino-Grace within a point, 6-5. Players of the game, a service of Goodhue County ADA, will borrow part of the post game here this afternoon from Williams Arena. We're just underway, 3 minutes in. He didn't pass the ball. He bowled the ball to his teammate, gets it back, and then it falls off the hands of Whitlock, but still maintained by DeLaSalle. A long three, college three, missed it. Rebound is Ajadambola. The JMO Bowl of Faribault as the shot is banked in by Zoa, and Totino-Grace has gone ahead 7-6, our first lead change of the game. JMO Bowl of Faribault presents our points in the paint, but that one pass, he basically bowled it to his teammate. Pull up on the left wing, that's good for 2 for Taj Whitlock. We've got another lead change. It's 8-7 DeLaSalle. 4 minutes gone by first half. Spin move by Ajadambola. Passes it underneath. It is lost and then flicked out high to Hill. Molokai Hill for 3. Kicks hard off the rim. DeLaSalle gets the rebound. It's Islander basketball coming from right to left in front of me here at Williams Arena. Courtside, as has been indicated, at the barn for this 3A title game. Coming in left wing side is Udine, out for a college three. It's good. That is Idoko for DeLaSalle, and it's 11-7 Islanders. Front court Hill veers off to the right, hands the ball off to Chapman. Big brother plays for Ohio State. Coming in on the right side, Dungy, a transfer from Breck, part of a state championship there in 2024. His shot misses. Rebounded, and on the go is Udine into the front court. Udine 26 points in the quarterfinal win over Grand Rapids, and then 12 points in the semifinal thriller over Richfield. A foul on the move to the basket by Jaden Udine, and Udine is going to go to the free throw line. As I said, these teams will sub down. They can go pretty deep. There's no substitute for the quality service you receive from Ackerman Accounting and Tax Service in Owatonna. Totino-Grace won state championships, their first ever for boys basketball in 2022. They repeated in 23 and 24 and then lost in the semifinals to Alexandria in 25. The lefty Udine free throw line shot good. And mass substitution coming in for Totino-Grace. Taban is in. Hines is in. Chapman, I guess, is staying on. Jackson is in. And who's the final? Raleigh is in. So 4 new players. Speaking of subs, no substitute for the great service at Ackerman Accounting and Tax Service. 4 new players on for Totino-Grace. And the Islanders will answer with their first substitute, Kamar Thomas. is on the floor here at Williams Arena. It's 13-7. Some early stats, rebounding 4-4. Shooting, Totino-Grace 3 for 7. DeLaSalle 4 for 8. DeLaSalle leads 13-7. On the Taji Jewelry of Kenyon scoreboard, scored the best selection of jewelry in the area. Dribbling in on the front court is Shea Jackson. Goes off to the left side, guarded by Idoku. Drives to the basket, and he scores. Just kind of came wide on the left. Good speed to the baseline, and Shea Jackson, who had 5 in the quarterfinal and 6 in the semifinal, he scores. It's a 13-9 Islander lead. DeLaSalle in block lettering across the front of their white jerseys in gold lettering. A step back three, skins off, rebounded by Chapman. He gives it up to Jackson, who just scored last time. Jackson to Chapman, Chapman to Jackson. Jackson goes baseline, and he is fouled. Fouled probably by Taj Whitlock, a sophomore. Well, we're double checking the number here. Number 1, Taj Whitlock. That'll be the first foul on DeLaSalle. 3 fouls already on Totino-Grace. Jadamola, Chapman, and then it was Hill on the other one. I missed that. Get that in the book here as well. Eagles fans sitting behind me, as they have just let you know. Handed off from Tobin. And then handed into the hands of Chapman. Totino-Grace basketball, the number 1 seed, the number 1 ranked. Pull up, 3, too strong, rebound Islanders. These teams did meet, not recently. Here's a 3 from long range that missed, tapped, and Chapman with the basketball, 1 and done, that time for DeLaSalle. And this one is out of bounds off Totino-Grace. And with 11:50 to go in the first half, we get a timeout on the floor. Exciting up and down the court action so far. We've also had, we've had several lead changes along the way already. I guess 2 or 3 of them so far. 13-9, DeLaSalle will pause for 60 seconds on the mighty 920 KDHL.
At J-Mo's Bowl in Faribault, you always strike a great meal, and now's the time to get your team signed up for sand volleyball. Whether you're a serious competitor or just out for laughs and exercise, J-Mo's has 6 quality sand courts ready for every skill level. The deadline to register is April 16th, with games starting the week of April 27th and running through mid-August. Ages 16 and under need permission. And don't forget the food. Fall off the bone, delicious ribs, juicy burgers, pasta, spectacular homemade pizza. All are welcome at J-Mo's Bowl, 1802 4th Street, Northwest Faribault. Get the details at jmosbowl.com.
You said it last year, but you didn't do it. Now you're thinking again, I gotta find someone to take care of my books. And it's never too late. Ackerman Accounting and Tax Service can do that to ensure next year's tax time is much less stressful. From farming to small businesses, Ackerman Accounting and Tax Services will customize a plan that best fits your needs. Just think, you can have an expert take care of your day-to-day and month-to-month accounting tasks, freeing you up to do what you do best, run your business. They even work with individuals. See what they can do for you. Call Ackerman Accounting and Tax Services today, 451-3399.
So 13-9 lead for DeLaSalle over Totino-Grace in the 3A state championship game. These teams did meet in the championship games in 2022 and 2023. And Totino-Grace got the wins those years. And they played in the 2024 semifinals. Totino-Grace won that one as well, but then lost to Mankato East in the state championship game. Totino-Grace state champs in 22, 23, and 24. You have to go back to 2019, all the way back to 2019 for the last time that DeLaSalle won the championship. That was their 12th state high school boys basketball championship. The first one came in 1985, 88, 98, 99, back-to-back years, and then in 06. And then from 2012 to 2017, a string of 6 state championships in a row, 6 consecutive titles for the Islanders of DeLaSalle. That was 2017, the final one of the 6 in a row. And then they won the title in 2019 and none since. Totino-Grace most recently won the title 2 years ago. So these teams, they know what it's like to be playing here on the big stage, Williams Arena, some games at Target Center along the way as well. Here's a shot short. Shot short was taken by Thomas. He felt he was fouled. Rebounded by Ajadamola. And he's trying to make a move around the defender. Instead kicks it to the corner for a 3. Jalen Hines drills a three. That'll be the third three. Now, I guess the second three of the game for Totino-Grace. It is 13-12 Islanders. Couple of lead changes thus far. Little pocket pass. Trouble here for the Islander player. Puts it up and off. That was Omar Ali. Couldn't get it to go. Ajadamola takes the ball now into the front court for Totino-Grace. A chance to move to the lead. Little stutter step move by Rowley. Kicks it over to the right side to Jackson. He's atop the key. Now he makes a move up the lane, a bit open, didn't like what he saw, looking for a pass, baseline cut, he gives it to A.J. Taban, and he scores. We've got a lead change. It's 14-13, Totino-Grace leading over DeLaSalle. On the right wing side is Thomas. Thomas is a junior, gets the ball to Udine, another junior. Thomas to the free throw line, up the lane, scoops it up, missed it, rebound, offensive rebound, Ali. Pushes it to the corner. It's lost out of bounds over there. And it will belong to Totino-Grace. J-Mo Bowl of Faribault. Sign up for the volleyball leagues coming up soon. jmosbowl.com. jmosbowl.com. Get signed up for the volleyball leagues and find out about hosting your grad party at JMO's. Be a great way to go. Great food, great fun. Kick to the corner. Jackson comes out of the corner, gets bumped, no call. Left side, three on its way. Three rattles in. That's Jalen Hines off the bench with his second three. And now Totino-Grace 17-13 early on, their biggest lead of the game. DeLaSalle was up by 6 at one point. Got off to a quick, I think they hit the first two shots of the game. I think that's how that worked. Coming in on the right side, powering to the basket. It's good. And I think there's a foul in there as well, as Idoku has 8 points and is going to go to the free throw line to try and get the and one. 17-15 now the score. Totino-Grace leading, 9:34 to go in the first half. 9:34 to go. First half. Foul was called on Taban. His first. Free throw good. 3 for 3 at the line. Sub coming in. Back into the game is Udine. Jaden Udine, a junior. For DeLaSalle. So DeLaSalle, like I said, last time they won a state title was 2019. They have been to the state tournament for boys basketball 30 times. I think that might include 2020 if you want to include that when there wasn't a tournament. 30 times qualifying for state, 15 in a row. The last time DeLaSalle was not at state as a three-pointer rains in from the right wing by Jalen Hines. And off the bench, Hines, who had 15 in the semifinal, is already off to a 9-point start, 21-16. Totino-Grace. Ball out of bounds, it'll stay DeLaSalle. The last time the Islanders were not at the state tournament was in 2011. So they've come to state 15 years in a row. Again, 2020 qualified for state. Last year here at the state tournament, they lost to Orono in the quarterfinals, so got pushed to the other side of the bracket. DeLaSalle has been a 3-time runner-up in addition to the 12 state championships they've won. Islanders looking for positioning. Shot is up. It's through. It's good. It's a basket for Wallace Johnson. Deion Wallace Johnson. 8 points in the opener, 12 points in yesterday's game. Islanders create a turnover. They're down 20-16. Led ahead, and a dunk. Finishing the fast break is Kamar Thomas on a slam. And there's a technical. There was some trash talking afterward, and the officials don't want any of that. A technical foul has been issued on DeLaSalle. We want to get that out of the game. It was a great play. You don't need that at the end of it. So he slams it down, and then he looked at the opposing teams and jawed. So it's a technical foul, and going to the free throw line, number 3, Jalen Hines, who's already hit 3 three-pointers in the game, and he'll get the technical here. Now, the game is a 20-20 tie after those fast break points. First free throw good. First free throw of the game for Totino-Grace. on the Taji Jewelry of Kenyon scoreboard. You don't want just any diamond. You want a Taji Jewelry diamond. 22-18 is the score. 22-18. I said it was 2020. That's what the scoreboard showed. The scoreboard just corrected itself or got corrected, whatever the case may be. Right now, the score is 22-18. 22-18. Yeah, my online scoreboard is not working so well. It's got the wrong score on it. Or is the wrong score on the scoreboard here? I don't know. Okay, the scoreboard in the arena shows 22-18. The online scoreboard is in another universe. Nope. Now it says 22-20 on the online scoreboard. They have updated the arena scoreboard, so the online is correct. And now the arena matches it. And possession as well goes to Totino-Grace. Coming off of the timeout, or the technical foul. Spin move, up and off. Dribbling into the front court, Wallace Johnson. Wallace Johnson drops it off on the right-hand side, gives it to Idoko. Handed off to Udine, turns, shoots for three, missed it. Rebound is Dungy, and we're going to get another flop warning. So this happened in the last game, the Class A game. It happened twice during the 4A semifinals. And the flop warning, embellishment warning, however the official indication is on that. And 22-20, the ball belongs to Totino-Grace. Into the front court. That is Malachi Hill. Outside left side into the hands of Dungy. Dungy gives it to Ajanabola. Back to Dungy, top of the key and opening up the lane. He drives. He tries to go kind of over his back. The defense collapsed around him. Good defensive play by Wallace Johnson. Into the front court. DeLaSalle in the corner. Whitlock for three. Oh boy, was that blocked or not? I think we're trying to rule, was that shot blocked or was he fouled? Okay, the shot was blocked. The fans are chanting air ball, air ball. That's because their team blocked the shot, and the shot went behind the backboard. So it's either the worst miss of the afternoon or the shot was blocked by Totino-Grace out of play. I couldn't see that specifically with bodies between here and there. So Totino-Grace knocked the ball out of play, and it is DeLaSalle missing a three, rebounded by Ajanabola. He goes back and forth with Dungy, the senior guard. Senior Ajanabola as well gives the ball to Chapman. 7:15 to go first half. 22-20, Totino-Grace with the lead in this 3A championship game. Ajanabola drives, passes, pass deflected. Loose ball retained by Chapman and the Eagles. Pass left side, Hill. Hill goes for an alley-oop, but put it too tall for Zoa, and that goes for naught. Ball lost through the wickets by Ajanabola. Long pass ahead, scrambling out of play. Saving it blindly to the other team. Totino-Grace in a foot race the other way. It ends with a three from Tion Chapman. And a timeout on the floor. Absolute, just fire truck basketball, whatever that means. It's a track meet up and down the floor. We'll pause for 30 right now. It's 25-20, Totino-Grace for the Class 3A championship. Back in a moment on the Mighty 920.
Make it personal, make it Taji Jewelry.
Awards by Taji and Kenyon can assist you in recognizing someone with plaques or trophies in a variety of styles and price ranges. Say thanks to a dedicated employee. Reward a son or daughter's accomplishments. Whatever the occasion, Taji Jewelry and Kenyon has the experience to assist in choosing the appropriate award. Teams throughout the area have used Awards by Taji because they know the service is unmatched and the price is right.
H&R Block stats of the game. H&R Block, where you get your maximum refund guaranteed with offices in Faribault, Lakeville, and Owatonna. 25-20, Totino-Grace with the lead. The Eagles are shooting 9 for 17. That's 53%. The Islanders are at a 7 for 19 clip at 37%. Islanders 3 for 9 on threes, 5 for 9 for Totino-Grace. Free throws are 3 for 3 for the Islanders, 2 for 2 for the Eagles. Rebounds are 10 apiece. The J-Mo Bowl of Faribault points in the paint are 8-6. Totino-Grace. And there's a foul that'll send DeLaSalle to the free throw line. So 8-6 Totino-Grace points in the paint. Points off turnovers are 8-2 in favor of Totino-Grace. Turnovers are 3 on DeLaSalle, 5 on Totino-Grace. All right, this last play is a foul. And I have to keep updating my stat page. Hill on the foul, Molokai Hill. That's his second. And where are we at here? 5 fouls on Totino-Grace, 2 on DeLaSalle. First free throw was taken. Second free throw is up. Second free throw is good. And the score is 25-21. And 25-21. 1 for 2 at the line there. Jackson on the dribble. He gives the ball out to Chapman. Chapman being guarded by Adoku. Inside, Leaner didn't go. Taking the shot was Zoa. Got his own rebound, goes from the other side. Missed on the other side as well on a reverse layup. Rebounded by DeLaSalle. 25-21 in favor of Totino-Grace. It was Adoku who had the 1 of 2 on free throws. Pull up from the free throw line. It hit the front of the rim. Shot missed by Thomas, who had the slam dunk earlier. Jackson delivers it to the right side to Dungy. Dungy coming off the wing. Now a drive. Missed it. Rebounded by DeLaSalle. Those rebounds are real hard fought for. Rebounds are about even. There's a leaner and a head contact. I believe, did he say head contact or not? No, maybe it's not a foul. Let's see, we've got a timeout on the floor. So the ball was simply lost out of bounds apparently by DeLaSalle. It's going to be Totino-Grace ball when we come back. Although the DeLaSalle coach is pointing and indicating something that he may have seen the other way. Todd Anderson in his 4th season with DeLaSalle. And certainly looking to continue that tradition that Dave Thorson had going on for so many years. Interesting connection to tonight's game. The Apple Valley head coach, David Collier, played at DeLaSalle. So I'm sure he's in the crowd today right now, maybe with his team watching this game as Apple Valley will play Chaska for the state championship in 4A basketball later tonight. Let's pause for 30 seconds during this timeout with 5.5 to go in the first half on the Taji Jewelry of Kenyon scoreboard. 25-21 Eagles.
Tax changes can be overwhelming and confusing, especially regarding the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. With over 70 years of tax experience, H&R Block knows how to navigate change. They'll take the time to understand your tax situation, explain the new tax laws and how they impact your taxes. And with H&R Block in Faribault, Wauton, and Lakeville, it's easy to get the convenience and care you deserve. You can just drop off your information and they'll phone you when it's ready. It's so easy at H&R Block, Lakeville, Faribault, and Owatonna.
Well, if you're fighting a fire, you're racing to get to where you need to be. So that's why it's fire truck basketball. They're running up and down the floor as if their hair is on fire. That might be another way to look at it. And there's also isn't there a fire warning? Was that yesterday or today? Because the wind is blowing at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Maybe that was yesterday. Although when Gordy joined me on the broadcast last night, he was talking about a fire, I think it's today too. So yeah, be careful, no burning, be smart. Weather's kind of wild. It was warm, then it's cold, then it's going to be warm again. And we're going to be playing baseball and softball and running track and field and all that fun stuff here in the days ahead. This is the final day of the Minnesota State High School winter sports season. And it was delayed a week in order to keep Williams Arena available for the women's basketball NCAA tournament, which was a good move. They had quite a game last Sunday here, to say the least. And I think, did they play yesterday or today? I'm only focused on boys basketball. I'm not even sure how the Gophers, I'm not even sure how the Twins are doing initially here. 3-point try is good for D'Angelo Dungy. Dungy scores, and it is 28-21. Totino-Grace. 5:05 to go in the first half, and the steal by Dungy. Races up the floor, left end of the basket, missed it. Loose ball, it is a Jarambola, fouled, and will go to the line. So a steal by Dungy right after he drilled a play. Dungy hurries back, comes up with the steal. So he had the three, and then he comes back, creates the steal, missed the basket on the way up, but the offensive rebound of Jarambola, and then he'll make his way to the free throw line. So Dothan, who is committed to Drake and was a top 10 Mr. Basketball finalist, had 22 points in the win over Minneapolis South, 12 points in the win over Northfield. He's not scored yet in this one until right now with 4:56 to go in the first half. And the score now 29-21. Free throw shooting for Totino-Grace, just 3 for 3. Let's see if Jarambola can keep it perfect. Yes, he does. That one just kind of rolls right in there. And it is 30-21, Totino-Grace with the lead. I guess I've got to click refresh on the live stat page after every single thing happens. With the basketball now is Adoko. Foul committed by Shea Jackson. Foul number 5, number 6 on Totino-Grace. Next one will send the Islanders to the free throw line. 3 fouls committed by DeLaSalle, that's all. Inbound comes from Evan Miller. Miller looks, and he rolls it in to Whitlock. Taj Whitlock, a 6'2 sophomore. Wallace Johnson has the ball on the left wing, well outside the arc. He's got 5 straight on look. A college 3. Not going. Rebounded by Jarambola. Head up as he races into the front court. No-look pass to the left corner. Missed it. Rebounded by Dungy. There was a battle for the rebound. A foul called on the play. And working for the rebound, so I assume this is going to be against Dungy. But let's see what, yep, that looks like what it is. D'Angelo Dungy. And this should be free throws then. Right? 1 and 1. We're going to walk to the other end of the floor. As that is foul number 7 on Totino-Grace. 4:19 to go in the first half on the Taji Jewelry of Kenyon scoreboard. Jalen Hines with 11 points off the bench. Big sub numbers so far for Totino-Grace. There's no substitute for the quality you receive from Ackerman Accounting and Tax Service in Owatonna. Wallace Johnson goes to the free throw line. 4 to 5 as a team for DeLaSalle. Front end of the 1 and 1. It's partway down, comes out. Grace grabs the rebound as Jarambola shovels it ahead for Dungy. Dungy into the front court to the left side, gives it to Hines. And a drive on the baseline. It is a shot that bubbles out, rebounded by DeLaSalle. 4 minutes to go. An alley-oop! Jarambola breaks it up. And I'm not sure if we got a foul or just the ball out of play off of Jarambola, and it'll be an inbound for the Islanders. 30-21, 4 minutes to go first half. Totino-Grace leads. DeLaSalle did lead early, hitting the first 2 threes of the game. They had a 6-point lead right away. Miller with the basketball. Hands it off. A quick turn and shoot for 3. Missed it. Rebound to Jarambola. He had 11 rebounds in the first game, 5 rebounds in the semifinal. And a finish at the other end. Off the bench is Taban, the 6'4 junior. And now the lead is 32-21. We've got our first double-digit lead for either team. Totino-Grace is up 32-21. And it allows us during a timeout to take a break as well. We'll be right back on the Mighty 920 KDHL in Faribault.
More than 95% of dairy farms in the U.S. are family-owned and operated. Families like your local dairy farmers who love what they do. They take care of their cows like family and work hard to leave the land even better for the next generation. Today's dairy farmers use less land and water than ever before to produce a gallon of milk. All this to provide you with the cheese, yogurt, ice cream, and milk you love. From farm to fridge, real dairy, real local, real good. This message brought to you by the Goodhue County Midwest Dairy Association and the dairy farmers of Goodhue County, proud to support our communities and wishing all local athletes good luck this season.
32-21, Totino-Grace trying to get back into the winner's circle after winning 3 out of the last 4 state championships and finishing last year, I think it was either 3rd or 4th. I think they came in 4th. They lost to Alexandria in the semifinals. Town Square Media scoreboard points out that the Twins lost on Thursday and didn't have a game yesterday. They play Orioles again today. And Northfield lost to Richfield. Sounds like a real competitive game, 78-70 in that 3rd place game in Class 3A basketball. Gordy had that presented on Power 96. I'll chat with Gordy about it when he gets over here to Williams Arena, where he'll present tonight's AA and 4A final. DeLaSalle with the basketball, had a couple of cutters up the lane, no chance to pass. Wallace Johnson drives, shoots, and scores. Wallace Johnson has 7 points. He missed the front end of the 1-and-1 a few moments ago, but 32-23, 9-point difference, 3:15 to go in the first half. Chapman, the senior, dribbles into the front court. Don't know that he's made a decision on a college. My research today did not find that to be the case. Here's a Jarambola. There's an offensive foul on a moving screen of some sort, I do believe. And the foul goes against Shea Jackson. This will not be a 1-and-1 situation. It'll be an inbound play for the Islanders. Goodhue County ADA presenting our players of the game. They say studies show consuming dairy products lowers your risk of type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure. Goodhue County ADA players of the game coming up at the conclusion of today's game. Might take a similar tactic that I did in the Class A final where Hills Beaver Creek beat Janesville Waldorf Pemberton, if you were with me for that. Otherwise, you'll find out in the post game of this one. With the ball, Thomas. Thomas tosses it out top. Oh, wow. That's an offensive foul. Big push off by Wallace Johnson. Deion Wallace Johnson, a 6'2 junior, and he'll get called on the offensive foul. And you can really watch on the replay, right arm into the gut of Molokai Hill and really absolutely pushed off. And so an offensive foul. So we've got a couple of offensive fouls. We have the embellishment or flop warning issued. And yeah, so we've got a little bit of everything going on. I think that was this game, or was that last game that we had the flop warning? Well, we had it in the last game as well. Here's a Jarambola, goes to the hoop, didn't get it. Taps, rebound. They're still battled for. It is picked up by Zoa. A 18-footer comes off the front of the rim. Rebounded by the Islanders, Idoko. And he will take a high dribble into the front court. 32-23, Totino-Grace. 2:15 to go in the first half. The Islanders led by 6 early on. Idoku swings it right side. A little pump fake there by Thomas. He drives, he shoots, and he scores. Kamar Thomas has his second field goal to go with a dunk earlier on. 32-25, the clock dwindles below 2 minutes to go in the first half. Jarambola is 1-on-1. Up the lane, draws traffic, spins it off the backboard, didn't go. And then, I believe that it's Miller who gets the rebound and then gets hammered. Waiting for the indication of who the foul is on. See if that's on here. So the layup by Thomas is on the score page, and Zoa on the foul, I believe. Or does that one go back to the previous one? It is a 1-on-1, so it definitely is a foul on Totino-Grace. I guess it's on Zoa. 1-on-1, first shot around and off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Zoa. The miss was by Evan Miller. So 0 for 2 on the front end of a 1-on-1 for the Islanders in a game they trail by 7 with 1:35 to go in the first half, trailing number 1, Totino-Grace. Trapped in the corner, and that could be a 5-second violation. Before the 5-second violation, Totino-Grace head coach Nick Carroll, in his 9th season, takes the timeout. And this is just a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here on this break and remind you what happened earlier today. It was a huge lead early for Hills Beaver Creek as the state prep bowl champions in 9-player football built a 24-point lead over Janesville, Waldorf, Pemberton in the first half. The Bulldogs rallied to within 11 in the second half, but got no closer. I think they got within 11 on either 2 or 3 possessions. And then Hills Beaver Creek pulled away again for a 31-point win, 64-33. Hills Beaver Creek wins their first ever state championship in boys basketball. Totino-Grace into this championship by beating Minneapolis South 90-56 and Northfield 89-61. DeLaSalle topped Grand Rapids 87-37 and then edged Richfield 73-70. DeLaSalle. Richfield is a regular opponent of theirs. Ended up splitting with Richfield during the season, playing both out of the Tri-Metro Conference, and they tied for the title. And then DeLaSalle beat Richfield here at state. There's a basket from about, 15 feet away. First field goal of the game for Ajarambola, and it is 34-25 with 1:05 to play in the first half. Totino-Grace. Idoko passes it into the corner. Trying to muscle his way along the baseline. Turn around, Wallace Johnson shot misses. Offensive rebound, Wallace Johnson back up and in. He's got 9 points in the game. Idoko leads the team in scoring so far at 10. Totino-Grace with 35 seconds to go. Ajarambola, jump stop, pass left side. Here is a baseline jumper for 3 from the corner. Jalen Hines off the bench has 4 threes, and it's a 10-point lead with under half a minute to go in the first half. 37-27, Totino-Grace. Running clock playing for the final shot, Minneapolis DeLaSalle. That is Dion Wallace Johnson just dribbling. Loosely guarded by Rowley. Now he gets the ball over to Thomas. 5 seconds to go. Wallace Johnson scoops it up, around, and off. Tap out, and no chance at a shot before the buzzer sounds. It was an offensive rebound for DeLaSalle, but they couldn't get the ball back up toward the hoop. So at the half, number 1 rated, number 1 seeded Totino-Grace leading 37-27 over DeLaSalle. Since DeLaSalle did score the first 6 points of the game, it's a 37-21 run since that opening couple of minutes where DeLaSalle did grab the initial lead. We'll look in on those stats, get you set up for tonight's action as well, because Gordy Kosfeld is getting all fired up for the AA championship game between Goodhue and Minnehaha Academy, and then what should be a thrilling conclusion to the state boys basketball tournament with Chaska and Apple Valley. But we'll get you the stats of the halftime of this one when we come back from a break on the Taji Jewelry of Kenyon scoreboard. It is Totino-Grace, the Eagles, leading 37-27 over Minneapolis DeLaSalle. I'll be right back.
At J-Mo's Bowl in Faribault, you always strike a great meal. Now they're your go-to for graduation party catering. Let J-Mo's prepare and deliver the food right to you, or host an unforgettable graduation open house right at J-Mo's with access to sand volleyball, darts, and bowling. Remember, Thursdays, bingo happens. Celebrate big this graduation season at J-Mo's Bowl, 1802 4th Street Northwest in Faribault. Other catering jobs also welcome. Go to jmosbowl.com for details.
You said it last year, but you didn't do it. Now you're thinking again, I gotta find someone to take care of my books. And it's never too late. Ackerman Accounting and Tax Service can do that to ensure next year's tax time is much less stressful. From farming to small businesses, Ackerman Accounting and Tax Services will customize a plan that best fits your needs. tax. Just think, you can have an expert take care of your day-to-day and month-to-month accounting tasks, freeing you up to do what you do best, run your business. They even work with individuals. See what they can do for you. Call Ackerman Accounting and Tax Services today, 451-3399.
Welcome back to Williams Arena, University of Minnesota campus for the State High School Boys Basketball Tournament. A long-time tradition on the Mighty 920 KDHL. 78 years of covering the State High School Boys Basketball Tournament. Go to KDHLradio.com. Look for Gordy Kosfeld's postings. He went through some historical notes of the coverage on the radio station back to the first year in 1948 when Bemidji beat Hopkins. Some title games of note that were broadcast included Edgerton in 1960 with their win over Austin. The final year of the one-class tournament in 1970 with Sherburne topping South St. Paul. At one point in time, KDHL Radio did all the games of state, but as the number of classes has increased, of course, then some strategizing has to be done by Gordy and the staff on which games to cover. Gordy Hink and Mike Morrissey were joined by Gordy Kosfeld in 1988. It was my pleasure to step on board as Mike Morrissey stepped down from his day-to-day duties about 15 years ago and be part of this historical event, the historical event of covering so many games of the State High School Boys Basketball Tournament outside the fact that the event itself is a historical event. It's the State Boys Basketball Tournament. And it is a 37-27 halftime score in favor of Totino-Grace, trying to win for the fourth time in 5 years a state championship. The H&R Block stats of the game. H&R Block, Owatonna, Faribault, and Lakeville. No computer program can come up with all of the possible tax questions. See H&R Block, the experts in that regard. Some of the team stats, shooting with, again, a 10-point lead, 37-27, Totino-Grace. Shooting, the Islanders, 36%, 10 for 28, 3 for 11 on threes. The Eagles of Totino-Grace out of Fridley, 43%, 13 for 30, 7 for 12, 58% on three-pointers, certainly led by Jalen Hines, who has 4 three-pointers on 5 shots from three. No, actually, he's 4 for 4 on threes. He missed a two-pointer, but Hines is 4 for 4 on threes. Team stats, rebounding, 19-18, Totino-Grace. Bench points, 20-4, Totino-Grace, led by Jalen Hines, and the big contribution he's given off the bench. The points in the JMO Bowl Faribault paint are 12-10 DeLaSalle. Points off turnovers are 10-2 Totino-Grace. They have forced 5 turnovers and certainly made good use, efficient use of those turnovers because they've forced 5 turnovers. Totino-Grace has committed 6 turnovers of their own, yet they are outscoring DeLaSalle in points off turnovers 10-2. Individual stats for DeLaSalle, 10 for Idoko, 10 points, 9 points and 6 rebounds for Wallace Johnson, 2 for Whitlock, 2 for Udine. That's it. That's all the scoring, those 4 players adding up to the 27 points. And for Totino-Grace, you've got Hines off the bench with 14 points. Chapman has 8 plus 6 rebounds, 4 points for Taban. 4 points as well for Janambola with 6 rebounds, 3 assists, a block and a steal. 3 points for Dungy, 1 for 2 from three-point range. He has 2 steals, a block, 2 assists, and a rebound. And Zoa, 3 rebounds to go with 2 points. So each team has 1 player in double figures. The game is fairly tight, but these first few minutes are going to be very important of this second half. We could go any of 3 ways, right? Totino-Grace could pull away, DeLaSalle could pull even, or maybe we just dance back and forth. Hey, just dance back and forth as the teams just stay at this 10-point gap. We'll see as we move into half number 2 after another break. On the Taji Jewelry of Kenyon scoreboard, 37-27, Totino-Grace is up on DeLaSalle.
Discover the finest jewelry collection in southern Minnesota, right in downtown Canyon at Taji Jewelry. With an extensive selection to suit every style and budget, you'll find everything from timeless watches and elegant jewelry to unique money clips and more. Personalize your gift with a custom engraving. Add a name, a special message, or both to make it truly one of a kind. Because you don't want just any diamond. You want a Taji Jewelry diamond. When you're ready to file your taxes, your neighborhood H&R Block is here to provide the expertise and care you deserve. In Faribault, Owatonna, and Lakeville, just walk in or make an appointment and get 100% accuracy and your maximum refund guarantee. So file with confidence, knowing your local tax experts are here when and where you need them at H&R Block, Owatonna, Faribault, and Lakeville. All tax situations are different. Not everyone gets a refund. Limitations apply. See hrblock.com/guarantee.
Couple of teams very used to being at the state tournament. 10 times to state for Totino-Grace over the years, which is fairly impressive on its own. 5 consecutive trips to state, including the 3 state titles in 22, 23, and 24. Those are their first state tournament titles in boys basketball. They've won a bushel full of titles as a school overall. But then you look at DeLaSalle, 30 trips to the state basketball tournament, 15 in a row, 12 state championships, which is more than half of the overall state championships that the Minneapolis-based school has won. I've got it here as 19 overall state championships, but 12 of them in basketball, plus 3 runner-up finishes in basketball. But they are the underdog, if you can call a number 2 seed an underdog, down by 10 points as well to Totino-Grace in this championship game. Listening to some basketball chatter coming into the arena today on the radio. The opinion from Spencer Tollickson, who is on the local radio show here in the Twin Cities and is doing some of the TV here. He indicated that Totino-Grace might be viewed as the best team regardless of class, because they do play quite a few 4A teams as well. Looking at what Totino-Grace has done this season, early in the season, their first 7 games were against Prior Lake, a win. Prior Lake was a section runner-up in the top seed, and I think won the South Suburban. Against Apple Valley, a win. Apple Valley's here at state. They're playing for the title. Against Maple Grove, a win for Totino-Grace. Maple Grove is here at state, although they have to play the 3rd place game. Hopkins, a win. Against Cretin-Durham Hall, who just missed going to state. A 65-63 win. A loss came to Wayzata just before Christmas, and then a loss to East Ridge just after Christmas. Both of those teams, though, are rated. Wayzata, of course, is here at state, and East Ridge was number 4 rated in the final poll, and just, of course, like so many other schools, plays in a real tough section. Those are all 4A. Those are all 4A schools, and Totino-Grace went 5-2 against those teams in the first 7 games of the season. They still played more 4A teams, Anoka and Rogers and Shakopee among the games on their schedule. They're in the Northwest Suburban Conference, so a team like Blaine, oh, yeah, that's right, Blaine was at state as well. A team like Blaine comes up on their schedule late regular season, and they beat Blaine. I guess they only play them once, 92-66 against a 4A state tournament team. And then they beat Alexandria area 92-90. This is Totino-Grace regular season. As I'm looking through this, it looks like they play more 4A than 3A teams. They beat Alexandria, who is a 4A team at the state tournament this season, 92-90, and then sailed in their Section 5 3A tournament, beating Big Lake and Becker. Becker is a team receiving votes in the Class 3A poll, and Totino-Grace won 79-44. Double-digit wins in every game since the loss to East Ridge on January 2nd. So that is 22 games in a row, double-digit wins each time. So if someone says that Totino-Grace might very well be the best team in any class, you can see some pretty legit arguments for it. Now, Minneapolis-DeLaSalle also builds themselves a really nice schedule. DeLaSalle lost to Maple Grove to start the season. They played state tournament team Alexandria between the holidays and scored a 3-point win, 91-88. Richfield is a team here at State that they beat in the semifinals by 3 points. They split with Richfield during the regular season. Richfield is a Tri-Metro opponent of theirs, and they shared the Tri-Metro Conference Championship. Other games, let's see, they beat Moorhead. I'm sure that's 4A. They lost to Hopkins just before the end of the regular season. That's a 4A team. They beat Park Center, a strong basketball tradition. That's a 4A team. They lost by 1. DeLaSalle did to Cretin-Durham Hall back at the end of January. So both these schools, of course, put together rugged schedules so that they're ready for this time of year and, as it works out, to play each other. And as was indicated earlier, they played each other for the championship in 2022. Totino-Grace won. They played each other for the title in 2023, and the Eagles came out on top. And then in 2024, Totino-Grace beat DeLaSalle in the semifinals before beating Mankato East in the championship game. And here's where we back are again. Totino-Grace and DeLaSalle head-to-head for the 3A championship. So this would be the third time in 5 years that they play head-to-head in the finals, while Totino-Grace is trying to win their 4th title in 5 years after not making it to the finals last year. 37-27, Totino-Grace with the lead on the Taji Jewelry of Kenyon scoreboard. Taji Jewelry of Kenyon, swing by and see their awesome selection of diamonds. And also a little earlier brought you the H&R Block stats of the first half. Over 70 years tax experience. They are your tax experts at H&R Block. And as halftime, I'll take a break in just a moment here, Rick. As halftime is winding down, we have kind of that stale atmosphere inside Williams Arena. They don't pipe in music over the public address, and there are no bands. Much different in the Class A final, where I think both schools brought bands. And I chatted with Dave Lee before today's first game, and he was saying the same thing, that it was just real odd in the arena during a 4A semifinal night a couple of nights ago, that I think the Apple Valley game, Apple Valley Maple Grove, I think was the game, neither school brought a band. As to whether that was because of spring break or whatever the case may be, it feels so much different in here. It's just kind of eerie. People are talking, you hear people talking and things like that, but it's just kind of quiet in the arena, despite the fact that it is pretty full. Either that or they're saving up their voice to cheer on in the second half. That's very possible as well, as players start to make their way upstairs from the locker room for the start of the second half. We'll take a break and be back with it. 37-27, Totino-Grace leading DeLaSalle for the 3A championship on the Taji Jewelry of Kenyon scoreboard. Back in a minute.
Your local Goodhue County dairy farmers would like to give you a friendly reminder that dairy is locally driven and powered by families like ours. When you grab that cheese, yogurt, ice cream, or milk, you're not just getting something delicious. You're supporting hardworking dairy farm families right in your own backyard. Support your local Goodhue County dairy farming families. From farm to fridge, real dairy, real local, real good. This message is brought to you by the Goodhue County Midwest Dairy Association and the dairy farmers of Goodhue County. Proud to support our communities and wishing all local athletes good luck this season. At J-Mo's Bowl in Faribault, you always strike a great meal, and now's the time to get your team signed up for sand volleyball. Whether you're a serious competitor or just out for laps and exercise, J-Mo's has 6 quality sand courts ready for every skill level. The deadline to register is April 16th, with games starting the week of April 27th and running through mid-August. Ages 16 and under need permission. And don't forget the food. Fall off the bone, delicious ribs, juicy burgers, pasta, spectacular homemade pizza. All are welcome at J-Mo's Bowl, 1802 4th Street, Northwest Faribault. Get the details at jmosbowl.com.
Second half all queued up, ready to go at the barn. If we had a little livestock in here, maybe it would add some excitement during halftime as fans sitting on their hands a little bit. But hey, we're ready to go. Second half is here. Roy on the call. Rick at the KDHL studios. Gordy Kosfeld will be here shortly as well. He's got the Goodhue game tonight at 5 o'clock. DeLaSalle starts with the ball. Totino-Grace fans are back awake and ready to go. D up, they say. A little pass by Miller to the left. DeLaSalle with the basketball, down 10. They were up by 6 early. Powering his way closer, but no one ever able to get off a shot was Odoku. And now they back off with 12 seconds to shoot. Is that Udine? It is Udine. His pass gets to Odoku. 5 seconds to shoot. Whips it up. Missed it. Putback basket is good, but I don't know that will count. I think there might have been a foul before that shot. Before the putback, that is. Yeah, definitely the foul before the putback basket. And the foul is on Jarambola for his second. And the first of the second half. At the line is Idoku. Pardon me. First free throw good. First point of the second half belongs to DeLaSalle. Down 37-28. And the free throw is good. He is 4 out of 5 from the line. And it is 37-29, opening minute of the second half. The 3A basketball championship on the line. Hills Beaver Creek won the single A title, 64-33 over Janesville Waldorf Pemberton. How on earth did Daniel Zoa get so open? Absolutely by himself, no one else nearby. And D'Angelo Dungy saw that, delivered the ball, and it was the easiest jump shot from 2 feet away that you'll ever see at the state tournament. And a foul at the other end on Totino-Grace. So it's 39-29, 10-point lead. Here they're showing the replay again. And 2 players were down covering him. They both bailed to the guy with the ball, and no one rotated. And Zoa was absolutely by himself. Wallace Johnson at the free throw line. The left-handed shooter misses. 39-29, Totino-Grace by 10. 1 minute into the second half. 9 points for Wallace Johnson, and Udine has just 2. That shot is short. Rebound is battled for in the corner, and still no indication as to whose ball it is. And now they will say it's DeLaSalle ball. The 2 officials were looking at each other to kind of figure out maybe who had the best look at it, best guess, if you will. For neither of them to emphatically point one way or the other means they each needed help, and I'm not sure how much each helped each other out, but the ruling is what it is. We don't go to a replay here, and instead it will be an inbound for DeLaSalle into the hands of Wallace Johnson. He'll pass it to Odoku. He's one-on-one with Zoa, goes to the hoop and scores. Odoku is now up to 12 points in the game, 14 points in the game. On the dribble is Hill, Malachi Hill. Both teams will go to the bench. Big bench points from Jalen Hines. That's one of the early stories of the game for Totino-Grace. Hines had 15 points yesterday, but he's got 15 points in the first half of this one. Moving in, Jarambola. He'll give the ball to Chapman. Chapman tries to go baseline, couldn't go. 6 seconds to shoot. Jarambola shot it over everything. And that goes out of bounds off the 3-point miss. There's no substitute for the quality service you receive from Ackerman Accounting and Tax Service in Owatonna. 39-31, 8-point lead for Totino-Grace. Their biggest lead has been 11. DeLaSalle at 1 point led by 6. Super early. Evan Miller, 9 points in yesterday's semifinal. Goes to Wallace Johnson. Now on the right side is Whitlock. Whitlock has 2 points in the game. Whitlock trapped in the corner. Got it away to Odoku. Top of the key, Wallace Johnson. He's got 10 seconds to shoot. Now he gives it to Odoku, right of the key, guarded by Jarambola. And the lefty will put up a 3-pointer. Comes off the heel of the rim, rebounded by Dungy. Coming into the front court, not really fast breaking it. On Jarambola, he will dash to the lane, dash to the hoop, and bank it home. He's got 6 points. Totino-Grace back by 10, 41-31. Into the hands of Miller. DeLaSalle swings it left side. There's Odoku up the lane, cut off by Zoa. Kicks it into the corner. Little pump fake from there is Wallace Johnson. Wallace Johnson on Jarambola. Leans, shot is short. Offensive rebound, however, for the Islanders. And then a quick shot from the corner for 3. Missed it. That's rebounded by Mordecai Hill. And Hill rambles into the front court. Leaves the ball over to the left side for Dungy. Lobbed inside for Zoa. Quick outside Dungy. He's open for 3. And D'Angelo Dungy has his second 3 of the ball game. It is now a 13-point lead, biggest of the afternoon for Totino-Grace. 14:45 to go. Ball will belong to DeLaSalle as it is out of bounds off of Totino-Grace. Todd Anderson of DeLaSalle trying to earn the 100th win of his coaching career. Number 98 came over Grand Rapids. Number 99 came over Richfield 2 nights ago, 73-70. Yesterday, the semifinals were the A and AA. Shot around, and it falls. Second basket and first field goal. Let me take that back. First field goal of the game. 4 points now for Udine. 1 and done for Totino-Grace on the run the other way with numbers. Thomas passes right side. Wallace Johnson can't get there before Ajatambola throws it into the corner where a 3 comes in from Evan Miller. It is now 44-36. A 3 at the other end bubbles out. Another rebound by DeLaSalle. Thomas races ahead. Ajatambola creates a jump ball, which should belong to Totino-Grace. So quick transition. You had Thomas trying to run the floor, the 6'4 junior for DeLaSalle, and Ajatambola got there to tie up with him and get the ball back to the Eagles. 14:05. That's 14:05 to go second half. 44-36, 8-point lead for Totino-Grace. Number one rated DeLaSalle, the opponent. In the next game, Goodhue is the number 1 seed for the AA against Minnehaha Academy. But, of course, number 1 seed Tartan got knocked out by Chaska a couple of days ago. Ajatambola up the lane. Finger roll for 2. Ajatambola up to 8 points. He's at double digits in each game of the tournament. 10-point lead for Totino-Grace on the Taji Jewelry of Kenyon scoreboard. It's 46-36. Odoku hands it off to Wallace Johnson. The Islanders are not going too deep off the bench as Wallace Johnson goes baseline and scores. They've got 4 bench points from Kamar Thomas, but DeLaSalle not going too deep on the bench, but Totino-Grace has gone to the bench. Nice shake and bake to create some separation. Shot missed by Hill. Offensive rebound. Ajatambola kicks that one outside for Hines. Hines, who's hit the three-pointer, steps inside for a 2, but missed it. Then following up is Molokai Hill for a follow-up tip-in on the miss basket for his first points. It's 48-38, 13 minutes to go. Back to a 10-point cushion for Totino-Grace. A three-pointer from the other side is Kamar Thomas. Thomas for 3. He's got 7 off the bench for the Islanders. It's 48-41 with 12:40 to go. 12 state championships overtime for DeLaSalle. 3 for Totino-Grace. There's a cutter. Ajatambola with a two-handed dunk on a fabulous feed from Shea Jackson. They were talking to each other with their eyes, and then there's an offensive foul on DeLaSalle. Was that Udine? Let's verify. Yes, it is Udine on the foul, which is his first. Also a turnover, of course, on DeLaSalle. 7 turnovers on DeLaSalle, 6 on Totino-Grace. It's Grace basketball up 9, 50-41, 12:20 to go in the second half. A state champion to be crowned at the conclusion of this game. Goodhue County ABA players of the game will be announced afterward. Up the lane goes Hill, creates contact, drew the foul. Odoku has his arms straight up in the air saying, what did I do? Well, his arms weren't straight up in the air when he committed the foul. They were over the top of the shooter. So Odoku picks up the foul. And that is number 1 on him. 2 shots coming up now for Molokai Hill, who just scored that basket a moment ago on the offensive rebound tip-in. Hill had 11 points in the quarterfinal, or 11 in the quarterfinal, 10 in the semifinal. Had 4 assists in the quarterfinal, 3 assists in the semifinal. He's got 2 assists in this game. Hits the first free throw. Hill has another coming. Hill missed some time this season with a hand injury, but looking good right now. Both free throws are good, and it is an 11-point lead. Biggest lead for Totino-Grace has been 13. Wallace Johnson in the front court gives it up to Thomas, the junior. Left side pass. Oduku, wow, huge contact, no call away from the ball. Two players tripped over one another. Thomas up the lane. Zoa gets in his way. Not Zoa, rather Taban gets in his way, and it'll be a foul there. A.J. Tabin. And that is foul number 3 on Totino-Grace. There's been 2 on the Islanders here in the second half. 52-41, Totino-Grace. At the free throw line is Kamar Thomas. Free throw good. H&R Block stats of the game. Free throw shooting for Totino-Grace, 6 for 6. 7 for 12 for DeLaSalle in free throw shooting. Second one coming now by Thomas, who's got 9 points in the game. Missed the free throw. Rebound taken by Taban, who committed the foul. To the other end, a block by Wallace Johnson. A save, Totino-Grace. No, who's got it? Who's got it? Fumble on the floor, an absolute dog pile. Going after the ball. And the referees are hollering at the kids that are right on the fringe of the dog pile, saying, get out of here. They still haven't disconnected the 2 guys on the bottom of the pile and indicated which way the ball's going here. But some athletic moves by DeLaSalle to keep the ball active. And in the end, we're going to have a timeout, a jump ball. All right, there's the indication. Jump ball is what the call is, but a timeout on the floor with 11:36 to go in the second half. Totino-Grace up by 10 like they were at halftime. More basketball for the State 3A championship on the Mighty 920 KBHL after this word.
You said it last year, but you didn't do it. Now you're thinking again, I gotta find someone to take care of my books. And it's never too late. Ackerman Accounting and Tax Service can do that to ensure next year's tax time is much less stressful. From farming to small businesses, Ackerman Accounting and Tax Services will customize a plan that best fits your needs. Just think, you can have an expert take care of your day-to-day and month-to-month accounting tasks, freeing you up to do what you do best, run your business. They even work with individuals. See what they can do for you. Call Ackerman Accounting and Tax Services today, 451-3399.
Just over 11 and a half minutes to go in the Class 3A championship game here at the University of Minnesota's Williams Arena. The upper bowl is being used baseline to baseline. There's even some people sitting on one side behind a basket in the upper level. Baseline to baseline, the lower level is pretty full, awfully full. And then in the areas in the lower level behind each of the baskets is also very full. Just the upper level. And I would certainly think for tonight's 4A game with 2 public schools, here we've got 2 parochial schools going head to head. And really there's a great crowd here for this game, DeLaSalle and Totino-Grace. But tonight with Apple Valley and Chaska, I have a feeling, I believe that there'll be some people up in the nosebleed sections, up near those banners, celebrating Randy Brewer and Kevin McHale from my hometown there up north, and Willie Burton. So there'll be people up there in those nosebleed sections. On the other side, up high above, there's Rachel Bannum and Deb Hunter and Carolyn Shudlick, as the women's basketball players, Lindsay Whalen, of course, are celebrated with big banners here at the University of Minnesota as well. We're going to have a great crowd tonight. Apple Valley Chaska for the 4A championship. It's Goodhue versus Minnehaha Academy for the 2A title at 5 o'clock today. Should be a great crowd for that. A lot of purple in the crowd, of course, with Goodhue. A lot of purple when Goodhue played Albany, and what a ball game that was. Able to hear part of it with Gordy Kosfeld toward the end of that game yesterday. Wallace Johnson drives, and foul is called against Molokai Hill, which is his 3rd, if I've got this right. But Goodhue, what a game yesterday, holding off Albany. I think Albany was up by double digits in the first half. Goodhue was up by double digits in the second half, but then Albany still came back to take a brief lead. And then Goodhue wins it by 3. First free throw for Wallace Johnson is short. DeLaSalle not shooting well on free throws. They are now 7 for 14 in the game. They trail by 10, 52-42, with 11:16 to go in the second half. 10-point Totino-Grace lead. Totino-Grace has led for most of this game. And he does hit that one. That is his first made free throw after missing 4 in a row. 9-point difference. Is there a substitute in? Yeah. Totino-Grace, I think he just checked in. A.J. Tabin. There's no substitute for the great service you received from Ackerman Accounting and Tax Service of Owatonna. Totino-Grace ball up by 9. Pass to the right side of Janamola behind the back. Pass on the perimeter, left side outside the arc. Now right side to drive into the corner. A 3, a little short. Who's got the rebound? Odoku has it. No one was going after it. Into the front court, Wallace Johnson. A pass comes ahead to Thomas. Thomas for stop and pop 3. Missed it. Tabin on the rebound for Totino-Grace. 10:40 to go in the second half. 52-43 Grace. Up the lane. Shot missed. Offensive tip misses. Offensive rebound stripped out of the hands. A foul is committed. Miller can't believe it. And the foul means Totino-Grace basketball. DeLaSalle fans behind me don't like it either. Let's see what the replay shows. You got Janamola and battling for the ball. Yeah, he kind of hacked him on the arm. I think it's an okay call, watching the replay. Jackson for the inbound. He'll lob it all the way into Janamola over by the timeline here at the barn. 10:30 to go, second half. 9-point lead for the Eagles. Pass underneath Zoa from Janamola. He's in too far, turns around, little baby hook missed. And Odoku for the Islanders gets the ball and outlets it to Wallace Johnson. He centers it to Odoku, handed off to Thomas. Left side Miller, corner Wallace Johnson. Little head fake on Janamola, then he'll pop up a 3 and knock it down. 3 for Wallace Johnson. That's his second 3 of the game. And Wallace Johnson is up to 15 points. It's 52-46. Jackson front court. Fans for DeLaSalle making a lot of noise to support their team's defense. Hand off to Janamola for the Eagles. Euro step, pass left side. A guy flies by, fakes the college 3, takes the high school 3, missed it. Defensive rebound. Kamar Thomas rolls it ahead, going in. Whitlock didn't get it. Wallace Johnson gets the rebound. This is back to Odoku. His shot misses, but he got fouled by Dungy, it would appear. 6-point game. Shots coming for Odoku. And for Dungy, that is his 3rd personal foul. For Totino-Grace, it's the 5th of the second half. Just 3 called on DeLaSalle. And the shooter, Idoko, I-D-O-K-O, needs to tie his tennies. And he's done that. He's 4 out of 5 from the free throw line. 9:28 to go. 52-46. Totino-Grace trying to dance back into the winner's bracket for a 4th time in 5 years. First free throw, good. For a team that has struggled shooting free throws, barely over 50%, Idoko has been pretty good. He is 5 out of 6. Sub into the game right now. Entering Chapman is back in. He took a break for a bit. So Chapman back in, no substitute for that great quality at Ackerman Accounting and Tax Service. Our JMO Bowl points in the paint are 20-18, Totino-Grace. Free throw, high, arcing free throw, good for Idoko. They can cater to where you are, or how about you go there to JMO's Bowl of Faribault? Maybe a grad party hosted at their facility is a great idea for you. Take a little bit of the pressure off. Then you don't need to clean. It's no fun to clean. I mean, it's good when it's done, but do your grad party at JMO's Bowl of Faribault. JMOSBowl.com. Fans are getting loud. Totino-Grace with the ball and a 4-point lead after the free throws. And what happened here? I think, did he step out of bounds or was there a foul? I think it's a foul. Yeah, it's definitely a foul on DeLaSalle. And the foul on DeLaSalle is on Udine. That is his 2nd personal. 4 fouls on DeLaSalle, 5 on Totino-Grace. Inbound play for the Eagles, 20 seconds on the shot clock, 9:05 on the game clock. Eagles with the basketball, trying to drive in, create some opportunity, but before the shot was a foul, before the effort was made by Molokai Hill to go through that motion of shooting, he's fouled on the floor. And that is Idoko with his second personal. 20 seconds are put on the shot clock, 9:01 on the game clock, 52-48. A little run here by DeLaSalle, and there's a offensive foul on Totino-Grace as they're getting set for the inbound. And the guy shrugging his shoulders most means he's probably the one that got the foul called on him, which would be number 4 on Dungey. Is that right? Waiting for the score board. Yes, to verify that. That is 4 on one of the starters for Totino-Grace. 9 minutes to go. This is anybody's ball game with a 52-48 Totino-Grace lead. Wallace Johnson passes to Miller on the left side. I think they might be getting ready to sub in for Dungey, who'd better be very careful. And there's a dunk. Wallace Johnson makes his way to the rim. It is a 2-point game. Totino-Grace by a pair. 8:30 to go. Passed over to the right side. Hill. Corner. Chapman. 3! Third of the game for Tion Chapman. It is 55-50. There's a timeout on the floor on the Taji Jewelry of Kenyon scoreboard. And with a 5-point lead for Totino-Grace, we're back in a moment on the Mighty 920 KDHL.
Make it personal, make it Taji Jewelry.
Awards by Taji and Kenyon can assist you in recognizing someone with plaques or trophies in a variety of styles and price ranges. Say thanks to a dedicated employee. Reward a son or daughter's accomplishments. Whatever the occasion, Taji Jewelry in Kenyon has the experience to assist in choosing the appropriate award. Teams throughout the area have used Awards by Taji because they know the service is unmatched and the price is right.
So after the three-pointer, there was a lot of commotion on the floor. A foul has been called against Totino-Grace. I don't know if it's against the bench or not. They don't have a name connected with the foul on the play-by-play chart. Okay, it is a technical foul on, wait, let me look for this name. It's a player on the bench. A player on the Totino-Grace bench obviously said something in the course of play. So the three-pointer is good. There's a technical foul on Totino-Grace. And so that should mean free throws then for DeLaSalle in a 55-50 game. So Totino-Grace just hit the three-pointer. The three-pointer is good because whatever happened or whatever was said afterward, the Chapman three with a nice assist from Molokai Hill is one of the players on the bench. Princeton Bay is called on the technical foul, and towing the line for DeLaSalle is Jaden Udine. Udine, 26 points in the quarterfinal, 19 points in the semifinal. 55-50, 8:23 to go on the Taji Jewelry of Kenyon scoreboard. Free throw good for Udine. He's 3 of 3 from the line, 5 points in the game. One more free throw, and possession will belong to DeLaSalle. We had a foul, technical foul on DeLaSalle in the first half. In that case, it was a little smack talk after a dunk. Both free throws are made for Udine. Possession still belongs to DeLaSalle, and all this means this could be a 5-point possession. If they score a 3, we have a tie ball game. We have only had one tie in the game. We have had 3 lead changes, and they were all early because Totino-Grace went out to a double-digit lead. 13 was their biggest lead. But DeLaSalle could tie it on this possession. Or who knows, a 4-point play, they could take the lead. With the basketball is Miller. He gives it to Wallace Johnson. Wallace Johnson guarded by Hill, trying to drive in. Of course, Dungey's not on the floor right now for Totino-Grace. Odoku goes to the hoop and puts it in. Idoko for the basket. It's a 1-point game with just under 8 minutes to play. Idoko at 18 points in the game, 17 for Wallace Johnson. Spin move in the lane. Kicks it out. Free throw line extended as Jadamola. He's spinning this way and that against Miller. Contact, but no whistle. In fact, they're indicating as a three from the left by Hines, who had 4 threes in the first half, has his 5th 3 of the game, and we have our second flopping warning, and I think, does this become a technical? I think this is a technical on DeLaSalle, and free throws will be shot now by Jalen Hines. Jalen Hines, a 6'3" junior. He had 15 points yesterday. Where is he on my list? Where's Hines? He's got 17 today and is at the free throw line. Technical foul on DeLaSalle for their second embellishment or flopping. Hines hits the free throw. He'll get another. He's 3 for 3 from the line. Now he's at 18 points. And Hines, second free throw. Got it. My goodness. He didn't score a lot in the quarterfinal win over Minneapolis South, but Hines double digits in Thursday's semifinal win over Northfield. And then big game today so far as well. Walking the ball up the floor because possession belongs to Totino-Grace. So think about this. A three-pointer, 2 free throws. This is a 5-point possession, and it's still Totino-Grace ball. No, that's not right. No, I'm mixing up. That was a previous technical. Never mind. Sorry about that. In this case, the technical, yeah, because it was the flopping. Because then there was also the technical against Totino-Grace for, I tell you what, technical fouls confuse me. They didn't make the basket, so I guess it stays at the 5-point possession or what have you. Because there was the flopping on the play. Here's a 3-point try. That misses. The 3-pointer taken by Udine, rebounded by Ajanamola. Totino-Grace has the ball, has the lead, 60-54 with 6:50 remaining. Totino-Grace, little head fake by Hill. Hill goes over to Ajanamola. Outside the arc, top of the key. He's trying to drive on Miller. One-on-one, tries to create room. Almost lost the ball. Got it back. Jabbed free. Picked up. Spin move by Idoku, who goes in for the two-handed flush. Idoku, and it is 60-56. 4-point game. 6:10 to go. Totino-Grace leads. They've got the ball. Points off turnovers are 16-6. Totino-Grace, interestingly enough, even as that was a points off turnover basket, Totino-Grace has actually had the advantage in that category overall today. Chapman on the dribble on the left wing in front of me, goes to the top of the key, left-hand drive. Oh, little pass across to Zoa. There's a foul, and he's going to get a shot. Wow, what a pass. A fantastic dish by, was it Chapman who did that? It was. That was fantastic. He drew he drew the attention of the defenders, and a little backdoor pass, and right there for it was Zoa, Z-O-A, and he'll go to the free throw line. Now the officials are discussing something here. Are they taking the basket away? Who's at the line? Who's at the line? Oh, tell you what, this is a 1-and-1. This is a 1-and-1. Who did I just give that basket to? Zoa? Let's take that away. No basket. No basket. Instead, they're saying the foul was during the pass. Foul during the pass. So it's Chapman to the line for a 1-and-1. Of course, the Totino-Grace fans are just now realizing this as well. And not happy about it. So 62-56. It's a 1-and-1. 1-and-1. He definitely was passing the ball, but in the chaos of it all, the initial thought from most everyone here was that the basket counted. Instead, on the pass, he's fouled 1-and-1 for Chapman, so can he get him 2 this way? Yes, first one anyway. First time to the free throw line for Tion Chapman, who has 11 points. 19 points for Hines off the bench, 10 points for Jadamola, 6 for Dungy, 6 for Zoa, 4 for Hill. See, I've only got Zoa with 4 if he didn't get that basket. I'm confused now, but I spent a lot of time confused. We've got a timeout on the floor with 5:51 to go. It is 64-56 in favor of Totino-Grace. Under 6 minutes to go. Back in a moment on the Mighty 920 KDHL.
Tax changes can be overwhelming and confusing, especially regarding the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. With over 70 years of tax experience, H&R Block knows how to navigate change. They'll take the time to understand your tax situation, explain the new tax laws and how they impact your taxes. And with H&R Block in Faribault, Eton, and Lakeville, it's easy to get the convenience and care you deserve. You can just drop off your information and they'll phone you when it's ready. It's so easy at H&R Block, Lakeville, Faribault, and Owatonna.
This tournament's been great. There's been some really neat basketball games. We finally got an overtime yesterday in the Hills Beaver Creek versus Henning game. We have seen Northfield rally from double-digit deficit in one of our broadcast games in the 3A quarterfinals to beat Mankato East in a thriller. Just a little while ago, it was Hills Beaver Creek winning their first ever state boys basketball championship. Wasn't a close one, though, with JWP. Beating the Bulldogs out of Janesville Waldorf Pemberton 64-33. Had Goodhue fight off Albany. Some of the social media comments about the games indicate about 4 of the games have been the greatest basketball games people have ever seen, which might be the case. Citing some of the 4A semifinal games with the big upsets by Chaska and Apple Valley. Some folks talking about, social media comments. You're going to get everything under the sun anyway. But people talking about the loss by Henning yesterday. That was the overtime game. Hills Beaver Creek, that was a thriller. The Goodhue game against Albany was a thriller yesterday. There's just been a lot. There's been some firsts at the tournament. I think it's real interesting that Liberty Classical Academy out of White Bear Lake at the state tournament for the first time in any sport. Certainly historical for them. And then you get these teams that being at state is nothing new. Not to say they don't appreciate it, but being at state is the expectation at DeLaSalle and Totino-Grace. And yeah, they've got their advantages and such, but we go with what the rules are, and in their case, they expect to be here. Miller will hand the ball off to Wallace Johnson. Wallace Johnson, step back, college three off the front of the rim. Rebound is still active, and Thomas has it for DeLaSalle. Here is Udine for three, no. Wallace Johnson gets the rebound, sets it back up and in with the left hand. And DeLaSalle now pulls within 64-58. It's a 6-point lead for Totino-Grace, 5:15 to go. On the Taji Jewelry of Kenyon scoreboard, here's a three off the heel of the rim. Triggered by Hines. A fast break the other way and a two-handed dunk for Kamar Thomas. No trash talk afterward this time. He got teed up on it earlier. 64-60. 4-point game with 5 minutes remaining in the 3A title game. Ajatambola on the right, guarded by Miller. That's been Miller's job all day. Bank shot miss. Own rebound up. In. Ajatambola. He's up to 12 points, I believe. 66-60. Totino-Grace, 4:40 to go. Idoku hands it off. Thomas open for three. High off the heel of the rim. Miller the rebound. Offensive rebound. DeLaSalle hands the ball off to Idoku. Tries to drive. Gets into the lane. Weaves through traffic. Draws the foul. And Idoku is going to go to the free throw line. Just a matter of who. The foul is on. It looks like Jalen Hines, who does not appear to be in any foul trouble yet. Hines for Totino-Grace. That might be his first. Let's see. Yeah, number 1 on Hines. Totino-Grace foul number 8. This is a 2-shot foul anyway. DeLaSalle is a team. 7 fouls on that side of the ledger. And at the free throw line is Idoko, who is 6 for 7 on free throws, and he gets a pair here. Rims out. 66-60. Totino-Grace. There's 4:23 to go in this one. J-Mo's Bowl, Faribault points in the paint. 28-24. DeLaSalle. 10 3-pointers by Totino-Grace, right? Yeah. And 6 for DeLaSalle. So a lot of 3-pointers, but a lot of points in the paint as well. Idoko hits the second one. J-Mo's It's all, you always strike a great meal. Get signed up for the volleyball leagues that are starting up. Swing by jmosbowl.com. JMO's Bowl of Faribault points in the paint are 28-24. DeLaSalle in this game. Up the lane, pull up, shot short, well short, fouled on the shot. And going to the free throw line is Molokai Hill. DeLaSalle maybe felt they blocked the shot. And just a matter of who the foul is going to be called on. 2 shots coming up here for Hill. And who's the foul on? The foul is on Idoko. It is his 3rd personal. And at the line is Hill, 2 for 2 at the free throw line. Totino-Grace has done it from the 3-point line, 10 for 21, and the free throw line, where they are now 11 of 11. In the ball game, 11 of 11. While DeLaSalle is 13 for 21, that's just 62%. In a game they trail by 6, they've missed 8 free throws. 67-61. Second free throw by Hill. See if I jinxed him by saying about the numbers. Nope, he's so good that even the announcer jinx won't stop the streak of 11 consecutive free throws made in this game by Totino-Grace. They lead 68-61, 4:05 to go in the 3A title game. Wow, Wallace Johnson weaved in, missed, putback basket. Pretty sure that was Miller muscling his way in there. And now it is 68-63. Totino-Grace with the ball on the dribble is Dungy, who's playing with 4 fouls. Gets it inside, in and down and up and in and out it goes. And Taban grabs the basket. 70-63 Totino-Grace. 3:40 to go. Idoko has the basketball, hands it off to Udine. He's got some brightly colored aspects to his shoes. Coming up, here's Thomas. Oh, he fakes the pass, goes to the hoop, has a shot blocked. I'm pretty sure that it was Taban that blocked it, and then the loose ball was picked up by Chapman. Up by 7, Totino-Grace with 3:15 to go, and the ball up the lane, jabbed away from behind, and then the DeLaSalle player tumbles off the raised floor. Teammate Miller hops down to help him back to his feet. He seems all right. And this ball is Totino-Grace loses it out of bounds. So it's DeLaSalle basketball. 70-63. 3 minutes to go. Totino-Grace has led most of the way. Biggest lead was 13. Pass into the corner. Wallace Johnson drives baseline, cut off. Pushes a pass to the paint. Lost it, and then a foul was committed as DeLaSalle was trying to get it back off the turnover. Turnovers are 9 apiece. The foul, though, both teams are in the bonus. So walking to the other end of the floor is Molokai Hill, who's 4 of 4 from the free throw line. This is a 1-and-1. The foul is on Idoku, and now that's 4 on him. So each team has a little bit of foul trouble going right now with one of their main players and 4 fouls apiece. Idoko has 4 fouls, and Dungy for Totino-Grace has 4 fouls. At the line is Molokai Hill. Front end of the 1-and-1. Didn't go. The streak is over. Thomas rebounds. It is a 7-point game. Under 3 to play. Thomas all the way. Banked it in. 12-point game for the junior Thomas, and a timeout on the floor. Still 2:47 to go in the second half. 70-65. Totino-Grace for the 3A title on the Taji Jewelry of Kenyon scoreboard as we pause on the mighty 920 KDHL.
Your local Goodhue County dairy farmers would like to give you a friendly reminder that dairy is locally driven and powered by families like ours. When you grab that cheese, yogurt, ice cream, or milk, you're not just getting something delicious. You're supporting hardworking dairy farm families right in your own backyard. Support your local Goodhue County dairy farming families. From farm to fridge, real dairy, real local, real good. This message is brought to you by the Goodhue County Midwest Dairy Association and the dairy farmers of Goodhue County. Proud to support our communities and wishing all local athletes good luck this season.
With a 70-65 lead, Totino-Grace. Timeout situation is the Eagles have 2 and the Islanders have 3 timeouts remaining. I don't believe we'll have any more media timeouts. But the teams, of course, have their timeouts to utilize as they see fit in a 5-point game. Totino-Grace, 3 championships in the last 4 tournaments. Missed out on the 4-peat last year. DeLaSalle had that ridiculous run of 6 consecutive championships from 2012 to 2017. Then they won it again in 2019. They've won a dozen state basketball titles on the boys' side over the years. They're looking for number 13, but they've got to come from 5 down. While Totino-Grace is looking for number 4, win number 4 for a championship. And they're up by 5 with 2:40. Clock running on the basketball is Tion Chapman into the front court. He was guarded by Thomas. Chapman on the dribble, left-hand dribble. Now he passes it over to the right on the right of the key. Between the leg dribble for Hill. The ball got away. How did that happen? Jackson goes to track it down. Totino-Grace continues. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Jackson on the dribble. Calls for help. Hands it off to Hill. And Hill takes a handoff up the lane. A fade away. Bubbles out. Rebound is DeLaSalle. And I don't know if, jump ball. Jump ball it is. Chapman was right there, and Wallace Johnson, they were fighting for it. And as they were continuing to fight after the whistle, you could see the official, referee or umpire, what have you, saying, stop, stop, stop. Because the guys were still fighting for the ball. By then, the call had been made. It just hadn't been signaled to us yet of a jump ball. Ball belongs to Totino-Grace. They've got the 5-point lead, 2:10 to go in the game. Here's a shot, rolls off for Jarambola inside. A little hook shot, just missed. Came off the glass, then off the rim. Wallace Johnson front court. He'll center it to Idoku. Hands it off left side Thomas. Top of the key Miller. Under 2 minutes to go. A 5-point deficit for the Islanders. Oh boy, big contact. Missed the shot. You had to wonder if there was going to be, and there's a flopping call. There's a flopping call. Is that our third of the game? So you had DeLaSalle attacking the basket. Wallace Johnson. He put his shoulder down or kind of backed into the opponent. The opponent flew as if he'd been shot out of a cannon. And then the shot missed. Now, I don't know if that's the first or second warning against Totino-Grace. The official did not indicate technical. So in that case, we've got to go back to what was the ending result of the play, because the shot missed. And I don't know what the ending result of the play was. Now, if there is another embellishment or flop called against Totino-Grace, there would be free throws for DeLaSalle. We've already had Totino-Grace shoot free throws on a second flopping call on DeLaSalle in this game. Plus, we've had technical fouls both directions for, technical fouls for jawing from really both teams, actually. So a lot more T's in this game than I usually see, anyway. With the basketball now is Jarambola. 1:35 to go. Still a 5-point lead for Totino-Grace, 70-65. On the dribble now is Dungy. Dungy hands it off to Jackson. Shot clock is at 13. Chapman gives to Jarambola. He gives an eye to the shot clock. Jarambola guarded by Miller, of course. That's what it's been. Jump pass, deflected, taken. 4 seconds to shoot. A pass stolen! And then a foul whistled. And if this is against Dungy, I think it is. He's done. D'Angelo Dungy, the transfer from Breck, who was part of a 2024 championship in Class AA with the Breck School. If he's going to celebrate a championship here in 2026, he's going to be watching it from the bench as Dungy is fouled out of the game with 6 points. And shooting, this should be a 1-and-1, right? 1-and-1, yep, everyone gets the message. Wallace Johnson will go to the line to shoot the front end of the 1-and-1. He missed it. Offensive rebound, put back, no.
At J-Mo's Bowl in Faribault, you always strike a great meal. Now they're your go-to for graduation party catering. Let J-Mo's prepare and deliver the food right to you, or host an unforgettable graduation open house right at J-Mo's with access to sand volleyball, darts, and bowling. Remember, Thursdays, bingo happens. Celebrate big this graduation season at J-Mo's Bowl, 1802 4th Street Northwest in Faribault. Other catering jobs also welcome. Go to jmosbowl.com for details.
You said it last year, but you didn't do it. Now you're thinking again, I gotta find someone to take care of my books. And it's never too late. Ackerman Accounting and Tax Service can do that to ensure next year's tax time is much less stressful. From farming to small businesses, Ackerman Accounting and Tax Services will customize a plan that best fits your needs. Just think, you can have an expert take care of your day-to-day and month-to-month accounting tasks, freeing you up to do what you do best, run your business. They even work with individuals. See what they can do for you. Call Ackerman Accounting and Tax Services today, 451-3399.
Discover the finest jewelry collection in southern Minnesota, right in downtown Canyon at Taji Jewelry. With an extensive selection to suit every style and budget, you'll find everything from timeless watches and elegant jewelry to unique money clips and more. Personalize your gift with a custom engraving. Add a name, a special message, or both to make it truly one of a kind. Because you don't want just any diamond. You want a Taji Jewelry diamond. When you're ready to know, 95% of dairy farms in the U.S. are family-owned and operated.
We are in a timeout, but, our technology once in a while just kind of goes skitterbaum on us or something, but we are back. It is a 3-point game. What a time for technology to say, hey, I'm going to take a break. 70-67, Totino-Grace leading over DeLaSalle. DeLaSalle with the ball, down 3, 22.4 seconds to go. I don't know when we disconnected. I can only watch so many things at once. And it is a 3-point game, 70-67. It came to be a 3-point game because Idoko hit 2 free throws a few moments ago. So if you didn't hear that, that's what happened during the time that we were in Never Never Land. And 70-67, Totino-Grace with the lead. The ball belongs to DeLaSalle. They do have 2 timeouts left. Totino-Grace has 2 timeouts left. And it's a 3-point difference. 70-67, Grace looking for a 4th title in 5 years. DeLaSalle ball. They've trailed most of the game. DeLaSalle coach Todd Anderson with instructions right to the very, 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 very end. He was out on the court instructing his players a moment ago. DeLaSalle ball. With the ball is Wallace Johnson. 19 seconds. Spin move up the lane. Shot short and Gianambola with the rebound and he is fouled. They played for the 2, not the 3. And we're going to walk to the other end and shoot free throws. They went for the 2-point shot instead of the 3-point shot. There would have been 14 seconds left. And this is double bonus 2 shots for Gianambola. And you can see frustration in the face of Ichima Idoko. The foul, by the way, was on, well, who was it on? Miller, his second. And then Gianambola to the free throw line where he gets 2. It's a 3-point game. It's still a 3-point game. Free throw misses. What an important free throw this one is coming up. Stay tuned for our post-game Goodhue County ADA players of the game, as well as the H&R block of Faribault, Lakeville, and Owatonna stats of the game in the post-game. You can see Gianambola take a deep breath. It's a 3-point game. The shot is on its way. He makes it. It's a 4-point game with 14 seconds to go. 71-67. Totino-Grace into the front court is Wallace Johnson. He will dash up the lane, then pass to the corner. A 3 from Udine. In and out. A foul! And he's going to get 3 free throws with 7.1 seconds to go. My word, if that shot had made it, he would be on the verge of a 4-point play. He is fouled in the act of taking a 3, and going to the line is Udine for 3. And I think the replay and the Totino-Grace fans don't like the call, and I didn't see it. Oh, my goodness. Oh, boy. Give that kid an Oscar. That was some embellishment. Shot good. But, I mean, you can't see the officials calling embellishment in that scenario with 7.1 seconds to go, but the replay tells the story. Okay, first free throw good, it's a 3-point game. Second free throw from the left-handed shooting Udine, it's a 2-point game. It is 70-69, 7.1 seconds to go. Each squad has 2 timeouts remaining. Mighty 920 KDHL, Faribault, Minnesota. Make sure there's no 3 o'clock jump on the computer there, Rick. I don't know if it automatically does something funny. Here's a third free throw, good. And it is a 1-point game. Timeout on the floor. We can sneak away as well because these games don't happen without our fine sponsors. We'll be back in 30 seconds on the Mighty 920 KDHL.
More than 95% of dairy farms in the U.S. are family-owned and operated. Families like your local dairy farmers who love what they do. They take care of their cows like family and work hard to leave the land even better for the next generation. Today's dairy farmers use less land and water than ever before to produce a gallon of milk. All this to provide you with the cheese, yogurt, ice cream, and milk you love. From farm to fridge, real dairy, real local, real good. This message brought to you by the Goodhue County Midwest Dairy Association and the Dairy Farmers of Goodhue County. Proud to support our communities and wishing all local athletes good luck this season.
Well, I wouldn't say the crowd has grown as we've gone along because people who are arriving in a bit for the Goodhue game can't get in. That's a separate session. But I will say that no one has left. I feel it looks bigger than it did before, but no one has left. Down to the wire in the 3A championship game. It is a 1-point game on the Taji Jewelry of Kenyon scoreboard. You don't want just any diamond. You want a Taji Jewelry diamond. 71-70. Totino-Grace with the lead and the ball on the inbound following the 3 free throws just made by Jadane Udine on the 3 free throws. Inbound for Totino-Grace. Triggering the inbound is Tian Chapman. 7.1 seconds, 1-point game. Looking. He comes into Hill. And Hill is fouled by Miller right away. 5.9 seconds remain. A 1-point game. Even if Miller, or I should say, even if Hill makes both free throws, it's a 3-point game with 5.9 seconds to go if that clock stays at 5.9. No indication that there will be an adjustment. So these are critical free throws for Molokai Hill, who is 4 out of 5 at the line. He takes a deep breath. He's got the basketball. This is a 2-shot foul. Both teams in the double bonus. First free throw, no good. DeLaSalle fans erupt. So it is a 71-70 game. Jackson has checked back in. Hill about to take a free throw to give his team a 2-point lead. 5.9 seconds to go. This game is going to probably come down to that next shot. See who gets the rebound. It's a good basket, and DeLaSalle just going to play it straight up. Now they take the timeout. All right. They took a timeout. No time came off the clock. And what kind of a timeout do we have? Well, we've got enough time. It's a full timeout on the floor. We've got the conclusion of regulation, or we're crowning a 3A champion after this 30-second break on the Mighty 920.
You said it last year, but you didn't do it. Now you're thinking again, I gotta find someone to take care of my books. And it's never too late. Ackerman Accounting and Tax Service can do that to ensure next year's tax time is much less stressful. From farming to small businesses, Ackerman Accounting and Tax Services will customize a plan that best fits your needs. Just think, you can have an expert take care of your day-to-day and month-to-month accounting tasks, freeing you up to do what you do best, run your business. They even work with individuals. See what they can do for you. Call Ackerman Accounting and Tax Services today, 451-3399.
What a finish. Up by 13 points at 1 point. Totino-Grace is now trying to protect a 2-point lead and win the title, while DeLaSalle has the option with the 5.9 seconds to go to take a 2 for overtime or a 3 on the win. Everybody on their feet here at Williams Arena, most everybody anyway, as the 3A championship game comes down to the final moments. 5.9 seconds. Totino-Grace in the game, 41% shooting. DeLaSalle, 41%. We'll analyze those stats coming up. J-Mo Bowl at Faribault points in the paint, 32-26. Slight edge DeLaSalle. DeLaSalle with the basketball, 5.9 seconds. The inbound comes to Wallace Johnson. Johnson being hassled in the backcourt by Hill. The ball is stolen. He stepped out of bounds, but it doesn't get noticed. And DeLaSalle could not get away a shot. Totino-Grace is your state champion. When we watch that replay, we're going to see a steal by Totino-Grace, and he was out of bounds. It happened right in front of me. Wow, I wish I could see that replay. Totino-Grace stole the ball, but I swear he stepped out of bounds. What a finish. The Wallace Johnson was trying to drive the ball up the floor. The defense on him was being applied by Malachi Hill. Fantastic job on his defense, and you can certainly credit him for that, and that's what made the difference in those closing moments. The defense of Hill to not allow DeLaSalle to move up the floor. I don't think they'll show the replay because it would be a little controversial at this point, but gosh, I want to see that replay again. But credit Hill with the defense. DeLaSalle could not even get off a shot. 5.9 seconds is plenty of time to move the ball up the floor, but not against the defense of Malachi Hill. Wow. Totino-Grace wins the state championship as DeLaSalle not able to get off a shot at a miracle finish. The final score is 72-70 as Totino-Grace wins their fourth title in 5 years. And now you see some nice sportsmanship as players walk, do the high five, give each other a high five, low five. Some of the players are sharing hugs with their opponents. So good to see that good sportsmanship after we had a little bit of smack talk at times during the game today. One time it might have been more so directed at a call, and then one time it was directed at an opposing player. But sportsmanship showing up good here in the post game. Fight hard during the game, and then bygones be bygones when the post game arrives. 72-70 as Totino-Grace again beats DeLaSalle. They did in the title game in 2022 and 2023. Beat them in the semis in 2024 on the way to a title. And here in 2026, Totino-Grace wins it 72-70. We'll get into our H&R block, Owatonna, Faribault, Lakeville stats of the game, in addition to the Goodhue County ADA players of the game coming up. And we'll take our first break of the post game after a Totino-Grace championship performance.
Make it personal, make it Taji Jewelry.
Awards by Taji and Kenyon can assist you in recognizing someone with plaques or trophies in a variety of styles and price ranges. Say thanks to a dedicated employee. Reward a son or daughter's accomplishments. Whatever the occasion, Taji Jewelry and Kenyon has the experience to assist in choosing the appropriate award. Teams throughout the area have used Awards by Taji because they know the service is unmatched and the price is right.
All right, as part of our post-game show on the Mighty 920 KDHL, Faribault, Minnesota, we're going to look at some stats right now. Totino-Grace player being interviewed and being surrounded by his teammates as well after sharing some thoughts with the TV audience today. Got the all-tournament team that they're going to name. We'll get into our H&R block stats of the game momentarily. 72-70, the win for Totino-Grace to win the state championship over Minneapolis DeLaSalle. Fourth runner-up finish all time for DeLaSalle. They've got 12 championships to their credit as well. Players being introduced right now for the all-tournament team. So 72-70, the number one seed, number one ranked team gets the title. And then we're going to find out who is on the all-tournament team off of the current game in a moment. And then the other players will be recognized. Is that a Northfield guy walking up there now? That's definitely Northfield being recognized, one of the Northfield players. Now the players off of the championship game include Jaden Udine, named to the all-tournament team, shrouded in a towel over the top of his head. He might take that off, might not for the picture. Tough situation here to be recognized for something after the disappointment of a loss in a game that was so close. Not always close, 10 to 13 point difference at times. Idoku named to the all-tournament team. And Wallace Johnson off DeLaSalle, now off the state champions from Totino-Grace. Dothan Ejadambola is on the all-tournament team, as is, how about this, Jalen Hines. Not even a starter. Jalen Hines makes the all-tournament team. So does D'Angelo Dungy. I mentioned that this team was deep. They go deep off the bench, though there's no substitute for the quality service you receive from Ackerman Accounting and Tax Service in Owatonna. And I think that rounds out the all-tournament team. So D'Angelo Dungy was named to it as well. 3 players off of each of the championship teams, and then one young man. I don't know how he was late arriving to Williams Arena. It didn't get announced, but one individual on the all-tournament team just came running up the raised floor to join the picture, at least, to be recognized as all-tournament. So maybe got hung up in traffic. I have a feeling Twin Cities traffic might be a bit of a mess today. 72-70, Totino-Grace winning it over DeLaSalle. How about some stats? H&R Block stats of the game. H&R Block, Faribault, Owatonna, and Lakeville get the maximum refund guaranteed. 40-32 rebounding in favor of DeLaSalle. Bench points, 27-12 Totino-Grace, thanks mostly to Jalen Hines. Fast break points were 18-15 DeLaSalle. Points off turnover, 16-8 Totino-Grace. JMO Bowl of Faribault, points in the paint, 32-26 in favor of DeLaSalle. Shooting, DeLaSalle in the game shot 42%. 6 for 21 on threes is 29%. 18 for 27. They missed 9 free throws in a game they lost by 2. While Totino-Grace shot 41%, very similar. 10 for 22 on three-pointers, a little bit better there at 46%, and 14 for 17 on free throws, very fine from the free throw line. Individual scoring for DeLaSalle, 23 for Idoko, who had 9 rebounds, 19 points for Wallace Johnson. He had 11 rebounds in the game. 9 points for Udine, 5 points for Miller, 12 points for Thomas. Kamar Thomas off the bench, 12 points, 7 rebounds. 5 points for Miller, 2 points for Whitlock to round out the scoring for DeLaSalle. And for Totino-Grace, 19 points for Hines, 5 for 6 shooting threes, 4 for 4 on free throws. He had 1 rebound as well. Nice job off the bench by Hines. 13 points for Ejadambola, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Chapman, 13 points, 6 rebounds in the game. 7 points for Hill, had 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. 6 points for Zoa, 4 rebounds, and 6 points for Dungy, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. So it was 16 assists on 24 baskets made, only 6 assists for DeLaSalle on 23 baskets made. So those are your stats of the game. The final score, 72-70. Totino-Grace wins the championship over Minneapolis DeLaSalle, ending the season with a record of 28-2, winning their 4th state championship in 5 years. Back for our Goodhue County ADA players of the game right after this.
At J-Mo's Bowl in Faribault, you always strike a great meal, and now's the time to get your team signed up for sand volleyball. Whether you're a serious competitor or just out for laps and exercise, J-Mo's has 6 quality sand courts ready for every skill level. The deadline to register is April 16th, with games starting the week of April 27th and running through mid-August. Ages 16 and under need permission. And don't forget the food. Fall off the bone, delicious ribs, juicy burgers, pasta, spectacular homemade pizza. All are welcome at J-Mo's Bowl, 1802 4th Street, Northwest Faribault. Get the details at jmosbowl.com.
Well, similar to what we did during the first game today, the Goodhue County ADA players of the game. And I'll set the stage here. The cheering in the background is going to be the introduction of all the players for Totino-Grace. And they'll be presented with their blue medals. And then the team trophy will be handed off to them as well. And it was real interesting. I watched a video of Dothan Jadambola and Tian Chapman talking about being on the team as freshmen. And it was a state championship team for Totino-Grace, and how they looked up to the seniors. They weren't big contributors as freshmen, but by the time they were sophomores, they were both starting. But during the video, they talked about the seniors, what kind of impact the seniors have, wanting to follow in those senior players' footsteps, which they have, and the tradition is always good at Totino-Grace as it is. But they, find themselves back in a championship game and winning the championship. So once again, going to go with the seniors, recognizing the seniors as the Goodhue County ADA players of the game. And what's interesting for Minneapolis DeLaSalle is that they have one senior on the team. Evan Miller is the only senior on DeLaSalle. And that's it. This DeLaSalle team, how many times have they been to state? 15 times in a row? What do you think? Can I predict that they'll be here a 16th year in a row next winter with almost everybody coming back? And not quite getting off that shot to pull off a miracle finish here, but still right here in the championship game. So that's it, one senior. On the Totino-Grace side, the seniors lost. We'll have a little bit more of a hole to fill in for head coach Nick Carroll and his 186th win of his career today. Dothan Ijadambola, who will play college basketball at Drake. Tian Chapman, who will play college basketball, I'm sure. I don't know that we know where yet. D'Angelo Dungy, another senior, and Luther Bungie, another senior. So 4 seniors, but they certainly do have a big impact with 3 out of the 4 being regulars on the team. And in just a moment, they will present the trophy as the coaches are being given their ribbons. And then we will, of course, sign off. Gordy Kosfeld is to my left, but we don't have a 2-hour pregame lined up for you. We're going to send you back to regular programming shortly. And then Gordy will be back at 5 o'clock for the AA state championship game. Did you want to come on for a minute, Gordy, and or just kind of, okay. Yep, Gordy just needs to still get ready and catch his breath from the Northfield game. There is the championship plaque handed off to Totino-Grace. They are champions again for the 4th time in 5 seasons, and now they're going to come over right here. Let's hope they stay on the floor and not come into my lap as they're celebrating their championship right here. Ijadambola is holding that plaque up high, hollering at his classmates. He's got the souvenir net that they give him draped around his shoulder as well. And they're fired up. They know the routine. 4 times in 5 years, Totino-Grace is the state champion. Well, it was a first-time appearance earlier for Hills Beaver Creek to win their first ever state boys basketball championship, 64-33. They beat Janesville Waldorf Pemberton. This game comes down to the final moments of the contest for Totino-Grace to get the 72-70 victory for a 3A state championship. Goodhue versus Minnehaha Academy at 5 o'clock today for the AA title. Gordy Kosfeld will have all the coverage, and then wrap it up with teams. Apple Valley, they know about winning state titles. They won 3 during the teens, 15, 16, 17, 18, somewhere in that span. They won 3 titles in about 4 or 5 years. Chaska's 1 state championship goes back a little further, but Chaska is a team that has won a state basketball championship in their history, and either Apple Valley or Chaska will hoist one of those trophies here before the day is over. And so Gordy will have those 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock games for you here on the Mighty 920 KDHL. Otherwise, this is Roy Koenig saying thanks to Taji Jewelry Kenyon. You don't want just any diamond. You want a Taji Jewelry diamond. H&R Block, Faribault, Owatonna, and Lakeville. J-Mo's Bowl, Faribault, where you always strike a great meal. Goodhue County ADA and Ackerman Accounting and Tax Service of Owatonna. A big thanks to TJ and Shannon and Missy, Rick back at the studios, a little bit of the Town Square Media Research Alum Department chiming in now and again, and to Gordy Kosfeld as well for allowing for me to be part of the tradition of KDHL Radio's coverage every year, 78 years of the State High School Boys Basketball Tournament. Gordy Kosfeld is back with you for the Goodhue Minnehaha Academy game at 5, followed by the 4A title tilt between Apple Valley and Chaska. One final time, the final scores of today's first two title games. Hills Beaver Creek 64-33 over Janesville Waldorf Pemberton for the A title, and Totino-Grace 72-70 defeating DeLaSalle for the 3A championship. Have a great weekend and good afternoon from Williams Arena.